What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. Today I'm going to be doing a review slash overview of the Twosun TS313. Thank you, Dave, for sending this in. I really do appreciate it, and I have enjoyed each and every one of these models, my brother. Thank you. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going through specs, size comparisons, and thoughts and impressions from an overview perspective. I've not handled and carried these a ton. I'm getting them in to look at them and handle them. I've cut with them a little bit. Twosun, there's really no surprise there. Their edges come good from the factory. They have decent geometry. They have good build quality. So no surprises with Twosun. I've handled quite a few of them at this point, and they do a good job. You know, they're definitely a budget man's best tech or a budget man's Riot, in my opinion. That's kind of where I come to land with these knives, but that's not a bad thing, right? Like if you feel like they're giving you that level of quality and build and product, meaning steels and premium steels finishes, not just from the blade but from the handle, that's not a bad thing to really feel like when you encounter these. Are there differences? Of course. You're going to get better quality for those more expensive knives, but you're getting excellent quality with these. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the specs, and then we'll do size comparisons. The 313 has a 3.2-inch M390 blade steel, 4.64-inch titanium handles for an overall length of 7.87 inches, and claimed weight is 5.78 ounces. Dave, did you pick all of these because they're heavy? Inquiring minds want to know, man. Let's see here. Oh, that fell right on over. So 5.78 is the claim, coming in at 5.8, right about that weight. Not surprised at all. This definitely is feeling very solid, but we'll come back to that in just a second. Let's do some size comparisons. These are just to help you from a reference point to, understand the size of this knife. When we're done with the length, we'll go profile so that, again, help you with the size comparisons. First up, we're going to do the Demco AD 20.5. This is a really good EDC sized knife. And we're going to go ahead and bring out the Spyderco Shaman. Shaman's going to be really close in size, overall in length. It's probably going to have a slight edge in length because it's just over 8 inches, where this is just under 8 inches. But you get the idea. You're kind of in that wheelhouse with this knife. You're into those bigger knives. Let me get these two out of the way. I got two more for you from a size comparison. First, we're going to bring out the Benchmade Bug Out. This is a nice EDC size as well, and you can see here that the 313 is just bigger overall. Today, I'm going to switch it up on you a little bit, and I am going to bring out the Hogue Ritter. This is the full size, so you can see here really close in size reference for that 313. Let's get these two out of the way, and we'll bring out the budget knives. The first budget knife I'm going to bring out is the QB Royal. This is my sub 3-inch comparison. This one here is the KU321, also known as the QB Royal. You can see sub 3-inch knife, much smaller, right? And then we have the Buck 110. Buck 110 is going to be longer overall, just more of a slender hunting style knife. Let me go ahead and move these out of the way, and we'll go ahead and do thickness profile comparisons and give you an idea of how this is going to feel in hand and how it's going to carry in pocket. So I would actually call that almost even with the Royal. There's a little bit of chamfering going on here, so it does make it a little bit hard to line these up, but I think that's about even, and you guys can let me know if you feel like that smidgen is a difference. And then I'm going to bring out, because this is the bigger knife, the Shaman. I think the Shaman is, am I holding that even? Probably just a smidge thinner, not much. And then the contouring here, I believe, on the Ritter Hogue are going to make this one even as well. So hopefully you understand why I did want to bring the Ritter Hogue out here. Did those big knives to give you an idea of the size of this knife. Sorry, I got a little bit of lint on here. I was cleaning stuff earlier and there was oil on the blade. When I'm storing these, I'm trying to throw some oil on them when they're not my knives, because I don't want to send anyone's knife back with, any type of rust or anything on there. And M390 is pretty, corrosive resistant, but again, not my knife, so I throw just a little, little bit of oil on the finger and rub it down on the blade just for safety measures. All right, this one we're going to go ahead and go through ergos first. So let's talk about this handle. I don't know if you can see it in here, but this has micro milling on it. And I'm trying to get the light to reflect so you can see it. But it has just this little subtle texture. Like this knife here has some of the most subtle micro milling. You can see it up on the button here on any of the Twosuns that I've seen. The other ones are more pronounced enough to where you can see it even when I bring out the Twosun 270. When I try to say the TS, I always get tripped up. You can see the milling a little bit better at this distance because it's a little bit more pronounced. It's a little bit bigger than you can see on this particular knife here. I also am not a huge fan of speed holes, but I will say with the style of this knife, it kind of seems like it's suited for those speed holes. This kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know, some type of small animal that is thick and muscular, even though it's small, like a warthog type of thing. I don't know why it's giving me that vibe. Maybe like a rhino or something. I know a rhino's not a small animal, but it's just kind of giving me that vibe. I really just don't know why, and I'm totally sidetracked from the ergos. Nice contouring. Again, I brought the Ritter Hogue out here so you can see that this one was thicker. I love this backspacer. I think it is really interesting. I love how they gave you a ton of clearance, so if you do like a lanyard, you're going to be able to get that, but when you look at this from a side profile, you're really not going to see that. I love that this backspacer goes 3/4 of the length, coming and wrapping all the way around on here. You have a very nice, not basic milled titanium pocket clip. Rides nice, has a nice tall ramp, so this catches and slides really well, goes in pretty far, and even though it is thin and springy, because it has that ramp instead of the ball, it is not bouncing or because it's not stretching out. So this one here is definitely the most interesting of the knives that he has sent in this particular batch. For me anyway. And again, the milling and the contouring on here is really, really nice. I don't like the branding on the pivot collar. I think it says Twosun. I gotta look from the side here. Twosun knives made by Twosun, China. So I don't know if I'll be good enough to remember to zoom that out. The thumb studs on here are very interesting too. They have like these little towers here, and it has a little bit of jimping to give you that bite when you go to deploy it, and then it looks like you take like a flathead to remove them. So very interesting. I didn't check, I don't think. Yep, they're titanium. Yep, steel hardware, steel buttons. All the this is where they save the money. Where you get a premium knife, that stuff is probably all going to be titanium. I'm going to use like the tactile knife Rockwall that has all titanium on it. So backspacer and everything else is just all titanium. No surprise, because that's how they're going to be able to, you know, cut the price back a little bit on this M390 knife. In the hand, it feels really good. I don't know about Dave, but I found that I actually prefer to have the middle finger just like my smock in the scallop, and then have the forward finger over top of this flat part here. And I find that this little scallop section really nice for landing out on this blade, which has a hollow ground grind on it. Really, really, really thin. This is a slicer. It does have a flat grind out on the tip, giving the tip some strength. It does have, you know, a medium geometry. It's definitely not the sliciest, but it's also not like a thick, hard, heavy-duty knife. It's got a decent geometry on it, in my opinion. Nice sharpening choil. It's got a huge sharpening choil. Absolutely huge sharpening choil. And this does have a ton of milling on the inside. Even though it is still heavy, it's got a ton of milling in there. Not that it's heavy, but again, 5.8 ounces is heavier than what you see on a normal EDC knife, and that's with all that milling happening. So I'm thinking the M390, the, you know, how much blade you're getting on here, the steel hardware, all of that is adding up. Button lock works really well on it. It does have a little bit of grime. Where is it? Oh, I have it on the wrong side. A little bit of grime that I hadn't gotten out yet down in here, and I did that on purpose because when I do disassemble this knife for Anno, I'm going to partially make it on how to clean the button lock. Or actually, I'm probably going to break that up into two, because the breakdown and cleaning of this is probably going to be like an 8-minute video, and then the Anno is probably going to be like 10 or 15 minutes, and I don't want it to be super long, so I probably will do 2 videos on this particular knife. Alternative recommendations, I kind of had them out here already. You know, for the price that you're paying on this, you can get that Ritter Hogue, which has the access lock on it, or able lock on it. Sorry, wrong brand. And it's, you know, great size, great blade steel. 20 CV is comparable to M390. You're not getting titanium. If you like titanium, but you want it for a little less money, that's where I'm going to come back and recommend either that you pick up an X-Tau or a Tau from Kungwu, or you pick up, I forgot what they call their sheepfoot variant, but they have a sheepfoot variant that is very interesting as well. And again, these are, I'm thinking of lock mechanism, right? Because the button lock keeps the hand out of the blade path. When you close it, kind of fidgety. So do those crossbar locking knives. So that's kind of why I ended up at those particular knives that I was referencing. The other one too, if you can get a 80-20, it's going to get you close to that wheelhouse. But something that's going to give you kind of that weight and that premium feel, the titanium 80 20.5. But I have a feeling that's probably going to end up being just a little bit more expensive, but it's made in Taiwan instead of China. So those are my alternative recommendations as far as the knife is concerned. But the edge on it seems like it's nice. I don't know if Dave used this any beforehand. I know that I cut through some cardboard to break it down. So, you know, actually it's not catching too bad. It wasn't perfectly sharp, like no blemishes on the edge, but you can hear it's kind of tearing. I think I broke down like 2 or 3 boxes with this one. So I will also, when I do the disassembly video, I'll make sure and just strop it up to demonstrate, you know, how that's stropped up. I don't know how the heat treat is on this, but again, it's a budget friendly Chinese knife with M390, and there's no advertisement for the heat treat on it. So it could be kind of soft, but I'm speculating. I've not tested, I don't know. If you enjoyed today's video, if you could do me a favor, leave a like. Again, if you want to see the disassembly and cleaning of this, and you want to see what I'm going to do with this to try to customize it a little bit, make sure that you have that notification bell to all and that you're subscribed so that you don't miss that. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all of those that have supported and helped the channel grow. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. I hope all of you have a fantastic week, and until next time, peace.